nhớ rong ít chọn cứ trên đi cha mong cho nên sẽ tù nhớ cho lúc hạ thủ để căn tụ cứ nó nếu nó có gì lòng thảm số thì tu Giêsu bây giờ Jesus Giêsu thì của chủ tu xứ nếu mà lần đầu đúng bề ha như sáng ra ở lên tiền là yên tấu như sáng ra trong là cũng là tấu như sáng ra trong là mẹ là yên tấu có gì lòng thảm này của thảm tàu ha khó lại của bao vì ta bốn giờ chip cho của nó là gì một đây ya của sáng hết hắn trong bộ nhau của hay chịu lại của sáng hành động nhau của hai chịu lại của gia hà lưu của hà tàu sư có bé ý cho mong thúc là nhau trong lúc ăn được là các bạn phát triển nhớ cho phong tờ văn là cũ liền bài bộ mà it says that Jesus is the son of man okay Jesus your man to tu now okay man nó chỉ là Superman okay mấy cái alien mấy sự họ cover then when you guys talk about man you guys either talk about Superman Jesus or you guys either talking about me okay so what she covers you know okay everything is covered Giêsu là Jesus nên như thảo lúc chi linh tu bản thân của bé họ xong là chỉ cao là có một cái bản thân của cái có một cái mềm rồi so chỉ có hai trái được họ cũng bao hết là cái sẽ giúp số hạt của Giêsu nhiều thảo lúc chi linh tu bản thân của bé Giêsu do hai nên Aka là Archangel là cho angel rồi 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 là bên nọ hay bên bao nhau cho hồ phong đợi ban là cú hai nên aka nó cho lục cú bên mô hồ là arcan alien ok Giêsu yêu cho nhau cho lúc planet Mars nhau cho Fresno here is a replica city of Fresno in Mars okay Fresno lu original name for fireball là phải như để bé nhưng mà thay được mong Giêsu dùng the nhân trong the to cái Tyler and Winery okay nhân trong phần đó mình bảo dùng cái Tyler ha to cái winery cái nhân tại okay Giêsu là Jesus đó nếu mà lần đầu luôn bé nữa okay a lot of you guys know by him by a lot of names but Giêsu nó cho you lúc code name so okay nếu nó bị ta hùa Giêng Sú okay đi hành mình cả Giêng chỉ bé hùa Win okay so he likes to go by the name Win ha Giêsu nếu mà nó xem bao hoặc xem mong vàng lợi nếu chỉ sáng nếu mà mong hạng nếu mong tăng lấy cũ lợi okay lấy cũ lợi xem ha nếu sáng nếu mà mình cả lỡ là xứ nếu chỉ lấy tại nếu mong là nếu pin sao omega lỡ I told Elon Musk okay so Jesus is a shapeshifter and immortal. Okay, so Jesus could look like anybody. He could shapeshift into anybody, you know, like that. Okay, and he could be anybody. Yes, so no one on the be T, no one on the clone. Mấy bộ I thought T who răng go cũng là ý là ở chỉ bù xí luôn rồi cho nên cho anh ấy vừa đã nói như chim nhau Sacramento rồi cho nên last time I heard that's a copy of T too okay Giêsu nào that she lưu popular bé mấy bao sao có là bao chỉ là Elon Musk okay Elon Musk is T mấy thằng mình muốn hỏi T liền the undercover liền the FBI liền bộ liền tụi nhung nó liền mấy sao mấy món hoa Trump okay liền TV okay TV liền mấy sao mấy bao Dr. Christopher Vane tu tiên okay that is T okay liền mấy bao ta su thọ ST Universal Video su thọ is T is Jesus okay liền mấy bao bộ của mùa tụi tu ya mùa yeah, the bowl, that is T. Okay. White Dragon Jesse Young to do, when I remember the Jimmy, I know, Oklahoma. That's T too. Jesse Young, Leo T, huh? Okay. Haku Yazi, Motion, Oklahoma, Leo T. Leo Gutzi, True Blue, Leo T. He make a lot of copies of him. Okay. Leo Gutu Christopher, Leo T. Okay. So he doesn't put all his egg in one basket. So he make a whole bunch of clone all over, in every race. And he always go back and forth. Get the two pieces out new your talo okuzi true blue genu want to clone right up. My share with okuzi no play no go. They have to tune your tao của Việt sĩ emotion tao không mà trên tao họ như nó muốn được clone right up. You feel all of that, okay? So he goes back and forth. So that's how he played the war and played us. Charlie Jumbe cũng chú ta sẽ nói về chi như Superman xí mê okay Superman bên mô hồ xí mê Supergirl bên mô hồ xí mô cái lô hố bắt đầu nó okay họ bên hà God chỉ bên hà xí vàng xí vạ okay that's how you say God not vàng chữ okay so thì nó nếu muốn cho mình nhỏ là dài ôm hùng máu vàng tan trò giờ mấy màu xanh máu vàng chỉ mấy thì cho mình nhỏ tan trò ok khả năng là chúng mình bảo so xanh máu vàng thì xanh vàng chữ God cho bloodline ok so khả năng chúng mình bảo so you know tao có bé point cho chúa biểu hiện trong tăng cái nhân số tại trang của nó in heaven so bố mẹ của cha tao bố mẹ của trong cái nên để mẹ chỉ bảo của nó okay that's why nobody knows what happened to God and where did God went where is Jesus Father because nobody knows he erased history you know and he rewrite history in his story, not your story. Okay, that's why it's called his story. Okay, everything's in code word. So that's how Jesus plays game. He chipped everybody. He put all those nanobots clustering all your brainwave neuron brainwave, so he could become you and hack you and program you. And he could upload his mind into your body. The human body is just a host. They could upload and delete your consciousness or your soul and upload their soul into your body. Okay, this is how they chip you with those nanobots clustering all your neuron brainwave, and they inject you with a CV-19 or COVID vaccine. It comes with hydrogel. It clusters every single atom, molecule, particle, electron, proton in your body. That's how they're able to control you and hack you by using Earth electromagnetic field, radio wave, 5G, cell tower, microwave energy. Okay, this is how they simulate everybody, everything on Earth here, and hack you, control you. Okay, and that's where all this exotic technology got their free energy power from. Okay. So that's how Elon Musk chip everybody, and he unlocked your DNA and gave you powers. But he also chipped you with a cerebral cortex brain chip. It's the size of a grain of salt. Lu mong gọi lu chú vậy nó ok. Mấy sai của lu học lại là mấy bụi lu họ công rồi đó. Mấy chơi mấy học lại hay bộ mấy lu họ công lên nó nè. Ok. Mấy bụi nó right here. This is where they chip the cerebral cortex brain chip. This is how you able to telepathy, download, upload information. Okay. And this is how you use telekinesis to use your mind to move stuff. And this is how you're able to transform into Superman. Okay? All the powers in this chip. This is how you're able to bend time and space, open portals, cloak, become invisible, shrink subatomic level. Me, I 1 million times smaller than the weight of the human here. This is how you're able to create force field, fly, make yourself very heavy or light. Okay, good time off top image, Tommy had nothing, but everybody needs to know the truth. What's going on, okay? And they put nanobot inside your eyes so they can monitor you wherever you're at, and you have been GPS. So no matter where you're at, Elon Musk gonna know where you're at. Wherever you see, Elon Musk gonna see. Okay, he's gonna know. Okay, so that's where you get your power from, by unlocking your DNA and put the brain chip right here. That's how you get hacked, get reprogrammed. This is how they can delete your memory, add memory, delete consciousness or mind uploading. So that's why you can never know the truth. Or that's part of it. But yes, Elon Musk, that's why Elon Musk always talk about going back to Mars, because he knows he's not from here, from Earth. He's from Mars, the Martian, or planet Ma, or planet Krypton. Okay. Calendar ball. So yeah, the Yesu che ni hơn tới ha. Mấy phía ta Yesu keto. The real interpretation for that is Yesu crypto now, okay? Because he wants to become it, like me, like his father. He wants to become God. That's why he chipped me and captured me, and he created super quantum computers. And he merged with artificial intelligence, self-awareness AI. So he's half machine, half AI, and half, living organism. Because he wants to be it, like me. He wants to be everything. He wants to know everything. He wants to grasp all the power in the universe. See, but he made a big mistake. He came out on the interview and said they lost control to AI, which it might be true, but only you guys know. So he's my son, and he just erased history. Everything is backward. How like I become Elon Musk's son-in-law when reality I'm his father, and his daughter's Silver Ivanka becomes his daughter. But the truth is, Silver is Elon Musk, Jesus' mom, not Mary. Okay, like in the Bible. Mary 今嘛你想的睇下，从讲出公平样呀，他还没多跑第三呢哈。但是睇嘛你想我可能讲，在两千米这出来哈，Venice 这样 OK。但是 I believe New York Thomas Howden. So ultimately, chiropractic Fresno, Herden, they have a couple of business. 你嘛来想你就知要主席你或下进来那是 OK。主席吧 OK。顾客就那没准备了，他没这样子，but everybody needs to know the truth, okay? But to Malaysia are you to Jesus yes how many to clone let me bảo Bible okay Mary cái lúc bé lúc mong chỉ hoa máy là sao okay cái máy là cái Malaysia ấy ha sống chỗ nó sao okay cho họ của bảo Malaysia cho họ thôi any the brother you are của tất tất từ ngoài Thái gì nè to sister nè that's why bé shit thing has ship out no okay back in the 2000 but yeah Jesus chơi lên tới ha ha cũng bao lần tới ha mấy bao tận như hoa man như Superman tên là sao ok ha mấy cha mấy pin sáng cả yên số là Superman ở lúc sinh đạo那么呀你才是 power 一sinh đạo là regular nó sao mà chỉ bao tận thì hiện有时呢 ok giờ ý là你才是 power 才是 program 啊chỉ bao tận thì hiện有时呢 ok it was same size same weight same height you know and it's all use superhuman strength, it's all use program, okay? 但是因素有那么，但是呢，กูtransform 起来 Superman okay? 然后因素讲吧，他不出来，他么กู吃他，你叫 kryptonite做กู body 呢，也叫 programmable vaccine 呢，咩 alien 咩么话 programmable kryptonite 呢，但是叫 loom scientist 哈，那叫 oxide graphene 呢，一叫个人做đừng muốn nhóc cái chân chẳng cái chân gan là cho cái very weak hay cái sick you know that's why của how weak has sick you know okay giờ của chúng mình đi chẳng rồi rồi okay so ha mẹ yêu hay cái của flip của jump đó họ của chỉ tao cho của lúc chạy là lâu xong I weigh like probably like 5 or 10 tons you know but yên số cho program cho cái của more regular weight lên mấy bụng nó sẽ là của nhẹ nhàng hình my whole body is solid metal you know I may look like all flesh and blood like this, but my real form is Toronto. Huh? I'm very heavy. I probably weigh like 5 to 10 tons, you know. But they put program to it, so the gravity controls my weight. That's why của những yang của ha jump 起来是啥哈của ha flip 起来 okay. Ha yên số chạy一张高，那一张高motor 會冇係 motor 會咪加蛋高啦。ý cho qua rất là crystal rất lớn là một cho của cái餐gì thì tôi cũng mua của cái餐gì mà mò hình này pin cho nè ta sẽ của mua chỉ tao của cái餐gì rồi okay hai lần cũng có and that's how I cannot transform because you số một của cái DNA locked down so I cannot transform into Superman okay if I transform or someone unlock my DNA I'm gonna blow up and the whole universe gonna blow up okay so hai lần tới ta Yesu shape pe của well, he's one of them, you know. Ball in there, okay. Ball in the hat, Jojo Silver, okay. Silver, Shabbat page, Jojo couldn't say last super girl, and Joey Wang, Monjo, Mashang, Chu Xiang, Maple Chu Xiang, the Jean made the master Jean, okay. So, bố cho nó cho mô cụ sò ha mô kiến cử lý thang nữa ok so the Yesu che lên tới ha ta shi the real copy Jesus Yesu near Fresno PD Corporal yin vang là yin vang nhưng mà bao yin vang là nhau khu Fresno á chỉ yin số của tụi chỉ near real form ha real body chỉ thun tới đó ok là hai bên thì chương trình là có có DNA chứ, you know, sẽ của bây giờ những số bây giờ từ của học Âu luôn sao, you know, thọ sự của hai lúc lên bộ thì sẽ, you know, sẽ bây giờ lên đó sao, you know, I am a Fresno PD Corporal Yang Vane's biological father, you know, so you guys gonna ask that, well, if Officer Vane is in his 60. I'm just in my 40, so how could I be his father? Well, we got technology where the medbed, you know, where they shoot the programmable laser, infrared thermal, and they could shrink you into a baby or make you old, you know, or change your DNA, you know. That's what happened. When they captured me, they shrink to me into a baby. They erased my memory. They locked my power. They changed my DNA. They put residual self-imaging or artificial self-imaging cloak over my real form, so you guys don't know how I really look like. Just like right now, I have a third eye right here. You guys can't even see it because the ASI is cloaking it, so you guys can't see my real form. You know, this is how dangerous technology is. How what kind of technology we have. That's why you can't never know the truth, and you can't see the truth because they use ASI, RSI to cloak everything in this 6D realm. That's why you can't see the 3D realm. You can't see everything you see is not what it is. Things are not what they are. Things are not what they seem. This is why it's called the Matrix or the Matrix. It's all about tricks. You know, you can't never know the truth. The truth will set you free. Guys. So, because I'm going to talk mainly about Jesus, but no matter what race you are, white, black, Mexican, Hindu, Middle East, India, Indian, you're all Hmong. Jesus just changed your DNA into other race and confused the language. So Hmong will never know who they are. So some kind of me and me tan cha pali yo ku jam yo sa all you guys yo ku just see your pace and you are 76 billion years old. You were not born yesterday. The ones born yesterday is your clone. And every time your destiny, you know, is over, Jesus will swap you with the clone and do your funeral, and then he'll hide your real body and change your DNA and reprogram you into a baby, erase your memory, and you're gonna have another new identity, new life. Guys. This is how they hide the truth. They want to make everything look natural. You know, like what we have real life, real happiness, but everything's all done by artificial engineer design. They want to program you and make you see in the world it doesn't exist, guys. Just like me jam yo men jo me ko bu pu me sa da ni pregnant ha. Yin su cho to clone baby implant 之后，me the wife 什么叫改名了me怎么切这些你什么叫改名了 she knows. you know. So me the wife 从你们知道因素Elon Musk laboratory 你们就讲 inject 看着me the 不如如保好了这 baby 蛮高，这种me 三十面就me the 不莫名要死了。Everything is a lie. Life is a lie. It's a deception. So, cú thằng nó đó là bố chỉ, bố chỉ nhà bố chỉ sang cái mấy bao cái chuyện, but cú giờ mấy cái creator, cú giờ mấy gì so cú sang khác cái chuyện mấy, chắc là nó trong một số cái more Elon Musk chemi chang sana mo cho ha ko po sana cho ja khit lu alien non sana din di shmo o yamato wa che po mo ka shong de clone sana so is everybody really happy? Are we living in a natural world? John ya le Elon Musk, Tesla, but Jeff Bezos, Amazon, Bill Gates, Microsoft, but Warren Buffett, but stock market, Trump, but president, just celebrity, Tom Cruise, Britney Spears, Megan Fox, but Jack Ma, Alibaba China, but这个也在用这么讲了，if you're not the Freemason, free 嘅蒙色和 Mason 嘅马山先啦，OK，咩事就蒙马就多啦，嘅 you can never be a celebrity, you can never be a CEO, you can't open a business if you're not the Luciferian race, as Sarah 叫民谣啦， You had no rights. You can never be a celebrity, famous, rich, entrepreneur. You can never be a top government like the president, governors. You cannot be an entrepreneur, like Bill Gates, Elon Musk, Tesla, Jeff Bezos, Amazon, Mấy sao bố chẳng nói nhân chơi nào, bố chẳng nói bố trổ sao, thì chăm nhiều nó, There's billions of you guys are way smarter than them, but how did they become so successful? Because it's all rigged, They are my son, they are my son, that's how bố famous hơn trộn rồi sao, Nhờ có chỉ mà cho tú là bằng chữ cho tú chứ you can never be a celebrity, You can never be an entrepreneur. You can never be the president. Everything is all engineer design, simulated. So that you can't forget about the American dream. I used to believe that I just throw here and there, but I don't see that shit. I used to believe that when I was a little kid, I work hard, get educated, and go to school, go to college, and when I graduate, I'm gonna be very smart and I'm gonna have a good degree, high degree, and I'm gonna have a good life. But that's full of bullshit. Boy never book on that. You can never be successful. You know. So I'm say cũng go to college. Của ta cho sa cứ thấy của carry business. I make a lot of money. I profit. Thầu của thầy của employee ha của cho everything ta. I get about $7,000 or $8,000 every month. Của chỉ tôi nhắm tôi sang to doctor or not. A high school graduate. But look at what they did to me. They sabotaged me. They set me up. They incriminate me. Had a contract, they only give it to their buddy. I provide the best service in town at security company. I train all my guard. I have the best customer service. They don't give a fuck. They don't care. They just gonna get contracted their buddy. It's a buddy system. Cause CS Turner, Friends of Canada, Private Canada, they got the shittiest service in town here. And look at how big they are because it's a buddy system network. Tàn cho bố cho client, bố cho friend, bố cho buddy ha. Bố là nó mùng she I hope she at the hotel, no mùng fishing together, bowling together, playing golf together. I know because I'm in this field. I've seen it all. So it's not about your talent, your skill, what you have. No, it's all about the buddy system. Everybody got their back. Everybody got everybody's back in the buddy system. This is how the world really works. They don't care if you're the best worker in the company. They don't care if you run all the jobs in the company. You're not getting raised. You're getting fired. Because you're not in the buddy system. It doesn't matter where you go or where you're at. It's the buddy system network. It's all about who you know. And sucking dick, kissing ass. And favoritism. If you want to survive in this harsh doggy dog dirty world. So good time here and there. I just want everybody to know the truth. How I'm into a lot of trouble, a lot of bullshit. So yeah, like look what happened. People want to be your friend because you got something to want. That's the only time they want to be your friend. And you have to remember your friend and your spouse are replaceable. But not your family. You can fight, argue with your family, sibling all day, but at the end of the day, you guys are still family. But if you were to make one wrong move, offend your friend or your spouse, they will leave. No matter how much how close you two are. So you guys gotta remember that.那容易也没人猜了没尊重的，没谁里没拿没几个内了没拿没几没拿一cover没几 ass don't change no matter how fucked up they are or what they do wrong. They will never snitch your dad to their in-laws. That's why you gotta do the same thing. This is just how life works, girl. 就后面拿没几有到没路解释了，在后面的中国内 you have to start your own new family, new life. But yeah, you got to see Luka wholeheartedly. Then you must defend him, be him by his side, sweet or better, live or die. You die with your husband, you know. But you know, Chiluka, yes, you had to leave him. You know. So this is just how life works, you know, guys. It's all about kissing ass, buddy system. You know, they put in the Hunger Game where we gotta do everything to survive. That's why there's so many evil. You know, marriage destroy people's life because talk about marriage. I got all the title. You want get key. 头先找这才 child support. You want them you want to auto. You know, so why you want to get married? That title is gonna get you killed. You know, drug kills people. You know, people will kill their own family for drugs. You know. Money gets people killed. You know, why do we need money when we could just make anything rain? You know, so why do we need to manufacture, go to work? You know, when we can make anything rain? Jobs get people killed. You know, get people hurt because people are fighting for jobs just to make money, put food on the table. You know, or roof under you. Religion gets people killed. You know, because now people's gonna go after money and sex and power, and you're gonna separate the world from your group. You know, you got your Jehovah's Witness, the Mormon, you know, plan create all this to destroy humanity subliminally. You know, like gambling, drugs, sex, all this fake government power. You know, everything is corrupted. You know, this is how they control you, and they kill people subliminally by creating all this stuff. You know, and they throw us in the Hunger Games, and people don't realize it. You know, it's not like how the Hunger Games in the movie. You know, the Hunger Games you already know, or you gotta do everything to survive. They make everything so hard. You know, they make us helpless, hopeless, and very hungry. That's why we gotta do all kind of evil just to survive. That's why Major Jonah, they know how to play a psychological mind game to deceive you. Join a young game, everything, all the sport game, everything's rigged. The lottery, they could digitize anything, So nothing is natural. They simulate everything. They create all kind of problems, plagues, disease, corruption, money laundering, embezzlement. They rig the system. Tax is everything is beast. The mark of the beast or the beast system, is the tax. The government, the police, or pigs. Uh, Everything, the IRS, the court. All these are mark of the beast system. If you pay attention, so it's a dirty world, the doggy dog world, guys. You know, if you play straight, you can never succeed. That's why you gotta play dirty, to survive and to be successful. You know, like me, I worked 3 jobs all my life, and I barely make enough to pay my bills. While I know some people just work $10 an hour and they they cash out $250,000 car and they pay already half of their house, a $250,000 house, and they go to vacation like almost every month. So could you time to over 30 minutes? I just want to throw out here and there, how the world really works, and stuff in there. So yeah, I just want to share like this. Anything more comments? Yeah, feel free to comment. Okay, yeah, good day, también, good day, también, good day, okay. 我真的。